Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to throw out a deck list video for AbilityZard. Kind of a staple of the same deck that's been going around with a little bit of iterations of my own. Some little techs I think are handy. But before we get into that, if you don't know what I do, I put out TCG videos once a week, sometimes twice a week. I do Dragon Ball Super, I do Pokemon. I'm mainly focused around Pokemon TCG. I'm going to be streaming the events at Retropalooza. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Leave me a like. Also, if you're interested in supporting the channel, you've been a member of the channel for a while, I have created a Patreon. Everything is a low tier right now. Probably will stay that way. If you decide to do that, everything goes back into helping this channel grow and to provide better equipment and stuff like that. But go over there, drop down in the description. All the links to everything will be in the description, so check that out. If you decide to do the Patreon, I appreciate it so much. Anyway, like, subscribe, and let's get right into this video. So first off, we start out with 4 Jirachi. Now let me say something right off. There are a couple of these in my deck because I'm not able to afford all the cards right now. But anyway, printer broke, so I have poor proxies. But anyway, 4 Jirachi. This is the main engine of the deck. Basically, you use it to search the top 5 cards of your deck looking for that welder. This deck obviously runs solely around welder, so that's what you're using to search for it every turn. Next up, we have 3 Dedenne. Sorry, well, I'm not sure what's up with the focus here, why it keeps buzzing in and out like that. But first of all, or second of all, we have Dedenne. We run 3 of them guys. Discard your hand, draw 6 cards. It's super good. Really expensive card right now. That's why I only have 2 of those. But super good. Discard your hand, draw 6. In this format where we don't have a lot of discarding, it is a great way to get stuff into the discard. Next up, we have the main attacker of the deck, and that is Reshiram and Charizard Tag Team GX. 270 HP. Outrage does 30 damage. If you have damage counters on you, it does 10 more damage for each damage counter on you. And then Flare Strike, 230 hit points for 3 fire energy, 1 colorless, and then Double Blaze GX does 200 damage unless you have 3 more energies attached, in which case it does 300 damage and goes through all effects on your opponent's Pokemon. So it is great for getting them one-hit KOs on like Mew and Mewtwo GX, you know, stuff like that. Next up, we have 2 Vulpix. Not real interesting on its own, 60 HP, not all that great. Colorless energy. On a coin flip, if heads, the defending Pokemon can't attack during your opponent's next turn. So it could be clutch, you know, you just need to stall for a turn, you know, could happen. But the real deal here is the Ninetales not GX, just Ninetales with that ability, 9 Temptations. And what that says is you can discard 2 cards from your hand, 2 fire energy cards from your hand, and you get to basically Lysander your opponent's Pokemon up. We lost Guzma in a low rotation, so this is a consistent way of getting your opponent's Pokemon off their bench and into the active so you can knock them out with Reshiram and Charizard. Also, Flametail does 90 damage, 1 fire, 2 colorless energy. You're not going to see that a lot, but if you go up against Malamar decks, it will knock out a Malamar, so that is very important to keep in mind. Next up, we have 2 Turtonators, and this is the Turtonator out of Dragon Majesty. For 3 fire energies, Explosive Jet 50 times. Discard any amount of fire energy from your Pokemon. This attack does 50 damage for each one you discard in this way. So with Welder, you're getting on a ton of damage, or a ton of energy every turn. With 3 energies on, you're automatically hitting for 150 damage. With 4 energies, that's 200, and you see the point from there. You just keep stacking energies, taking bigger and bigger knockouts until till you win the game, basically. This is a good 1 prize attacker that does a lot of damage. Next up, we have 1 Heatran GX. This guy has his Burning Road ability once during your turn. When this Pokemon moves from the bench to become your active, you may move any number of fire energy from your other Pokemon to it. So basically, it's Tapu Koko Prism, only you have to manually move it from the bench. You don't get to automatically move it when you play it from your hand. We mainly use it for its GX attack. It does 50 damage times the number of fire energy attached to this Pokemon. So with 6 energy, you're doing 300 damage. So it's not bad. Also, Steaming Stomp does 130 damage for 2 fire and 1 colorless. So it's still a very good attacking Pokemon against those baby decks like Giratina and stuff like that. You're able to knock those out with 1 shot. Next up, we have 1 Volcanion, and this is the one from Ultra Prism. Is it Ultra Prism? I believe it's Ultra Prism. Not Ultra Prism. Unified Minds? Yes. Well, whichever one come out with the Reshiram and Charizard tag team, that's the one I'm talking about. Anyway, Flare Starter, attach a fire energy card from your deck to one of your Pokemon. If it's your second turn, you can attach up to 3. So it's basically a welder on your, or not welder, it is basically a Kiawe on your first if you go second. So really good there. Also, High Heat Blast, if you have 4 energies on the field, it does 110 damage, so that's not too skimpy either. But for 2 fire energies, it only does 50. So you're not going to be taking a lot of giant knockouts, but it will come in clutch at certain points in time. And next up, we have one Victini Prism Star. If y'all been a fan of my channel, y'all been watching my channel, y'all know exactly how much I love Victini Prism Star. Played it a lot in Dallas Regionals. This card is phenomenal. Does 20 damage. Times the amount of fire energy in your discard pile, or energy in your discard pile, basic energy in your discard pile, and then you shuffle those cards back into your deck. So basically, if you have 14 fire energy in your discard pile, you're hitting for 280 damage, which is a knockout on anything besides a Wailord, Magikarp and Wailord Tag Team GX in the format right now. And now we move on to our supporter lines, and we have a whole 4 welders. This is the only supporter we play in the entire deck. No more supporters are needed. This is just a broken card. You attach 2 fire energy cards from your hand and draw 3 cards. So it's HOW on steroids. It is the most played card in the format right now. You cannot get past it. It's played in Mewtwo decks. It's played in Fire decks. It's played in Reshizard decks. It's played in all kinds of decks. Anyway, we of course play 4 of those, but that is the only supporter we play. Next up is the item cards, and we play 4 Cherish Ball. If you're new to the standard format, Cherish Ball is search your deck for a GX Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So it's basically a Nest Ball, but only for GXs, and it goes straight to your hand, so it's even better. So you get to use the abilities that come into play. So Dedenne basically is what it's in there for. Plus, Charizard and Reshiram, and Heatran, and other cards, because you use Pokemon Communication. You search out what you need with the Cherish Ball, and then you communication away for whatever you need. Communication is for getting the baby Pokemon. Right now, in this format, we have no way of searching out Vulpixes, or Ninetales, or Turtonators, or Volcanions, or Victinis, because we have nothing that searches out baby Pokemon. But if you have another Pokemon in your hand, say you used Cherish Ball and searched out a GX that you didn't need, you can use Pokemon Communication to switch it back into what you do need, like a Ninetales or a Vulpix or whatever it may be. Next, we have 3 Acrobat. This is just a little bit of speed consistency, a speed boost. You get to look at the top 2 cards, discard one, and put the other one into your hand. 2 switches, because you need to be able to move your Jirachis or whatever you have in the active, your Dedenne, whatever it is, from the active to the bench, just getting it out of the active so you can swing for big damage with your Charizards or your Victinis, Heatrans, whatever it may be. Next up, we have 2 Escape Board. This is a crucial card right here. You're able to play these with Jirachi, because Jirachi puts itself to sleep after it uses its Stellar Wish ability. So playing that allows you to retreat, because it says the retreat cost is 1 less, and you can retreat even if it's asleep or paralyzed. This card was made for this card, only this card come out first, because Pokemon's that way. They love doing stuff like that. This card come out, it saw no play whatsoever. Jirachi came out, and now it's everywhere. It's running every deck. Next, we have 1 Fire Crystal. Sometimes you need to get those fire energies back from your deck. This says put 3 fire energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. Busted, broken, brusted card, if you want to say that. But anyway, Fire Crystal, we play 1 of those. There's decks that play up to 4. There's decks that play only 3. I like running 1, but I also like running a higher fire energy count. So, I'm not burning through my deck burning through my energy quite as much as those other decks. We'll also play 1 Pal Pad. This turns 4 Welder into 6 Welder, because this allows you to shuffle 2 supporter cards from your discard pile into your deck. So basically, you use a couple Welders, you use Pal Pad, put them back in there, and you're back up, and you're at full strength trying to get those Welders again. Only you have 4 in the deck now, even though you already played 2, because you get them back from the discard. And we have 1 Reset Stamp. Now this card right here is a new card that is absolutely busted. It says your opponent shuffles their hand into their deck and draws a card for each of their remaining prize cards. So basically, they have knocked out a couple, or they have knocked out a AbilityZard, and they have knocked out a Victini. They are down to 4. They have 2 prizes left to take. You hit them with a reset stamp, they draw 2 cards, and then hopefully the hope is they dead draw for the rest of the game so you can get up the power to just knock them back out. Next, we have 1 Heat Factory Prism Star. This is going into the support or the stadiums. This says discard a fire energy card and draw 3 cards. Super broken. You can't beat that for a stadium card, except for maybe with Giant Hearth. Now we play 3 of these. As you can see, those are water energies. These aren't very expensive, but I haven't been back to my local card store to pick any up yet, so I just have the 1. Giant Hearth says, when you discard a card, search your deck for 2 fire energy cards and put them into your hand. And we play 3 of those. Yeah, I just kind of move this over here. I know it's kind of weird that I'm using water energies, but it allows me to differentiate what's in my deck for playtesting and stuff like that. But anyways, discard a card, draw 2, or search for 2 fire energies, and you've basically got an instant welder or an instant 9 temptations to be able to do whatever you need to do on that turn. Let's kind of turn my light just a little bit. That looks better. Not quite such of a bad glow there. A little bit better. Anyway, 3 Giant Hearth. And next up is the energies, and this is where it kind of gets techie on my part. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 fire energies, and then I like to play 1 weakness guard energy. So 17 energies in all. From what I can see, it really doesn't make that much of a difference for this weak guard energy to be a fire or a colorless, because all the attacks require at least 1 colorless except for Victinis, and that requires 2 fire. Even if you have 2 fires attached to Victini, that's still 14 in the discard pile, so you are still hitting for 280 damage. Of course, you're drawing it pretty thin there, but this weak guard energy allows you to go up against water decks, attach it to your AbilityZard, and they are no longer one-shotting you. If they are playing that annoying Frostlass deck, they are not going to one-shot you because you've got weak guard energy attached. That's what it's there for. It's my tech. Whether it's any good or not remains to be seen. I've seen uses for it, but, you know, nobody else is playing it in the meta, so maybe I'm a little overboard with it. I don't know. But anyway, guys, that's the video. That is the deck list. That's the AbilityZard that's running around right now. A little bit of this is mine, a little bit of this is standard, a little bit of this is meta. But anyway, that is the deck, and I hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you play it. Let me know how you do with it, and we'll see you next time.